Welcome back to Cruising Sanctuary. Cruising X here. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker and the midst of the 12. We just finished Krile, so let's get out of here.
You're safe! Thank goodness! I rushed here as soon as I heard the tidings from Raha. Is this true? Beings claiming to be the 12 have appeared.
Yeah, we just fought them.
You defeated them all? Incredible!
I had no doubt that you would succeed, but I'm no less impressed for it. Seldom have I felt such exhilaration! Can we do without the spectacle, though? Really? You still have to do the spectacle? To think that the day would come that we would put on an act for men. I must say, Byragot, you played the villain's role to perfection. Come now, Master. I merely did what was necessary to compel the mortals to confront us.
Still, it pained me to speak to our beloved children so unkindly.
So you say, Azema, yet you seemed happy enough to fight them. You did not forget the true purpose of the trial, I hope.
Well, I couldn't help but be excited. And do not tell me you felt differently. Consider yourselves fortunate, children. 'Tis rare indeed to see Nardal in such high spirits. What in the world is happening? Didn't you say you had defeated them?
Did they manage to flee? Or perhaps were resummoned? Put up your weapons. You have naught to fear from us. Rest assured, we are not summoned beings. We do not drain the land of ether, nor do we take men into our thrall. Well, then... But what of the gods who were summoned during the calamity? The ones Master Louisoix called forth to protect the realm? That was not us, but a primal born of your fervent prayers for salvation.
Indeed. That the worst of the calamity was averted and the realm restored in its aftermath was a direct testament to the power of your hopes.
Why choose to appear before us now? Just as men harbor hopes, so too do we gods. To realize our aspirations, 'tis essential that we do battle with you. Thus did I falsely claim that we sought to rule the world. 'Twas deceitful conduct unworthy of a divinity, and I must apologize. Not only for that, but for using my power to do harm besides.
These hopes of yours, won't you tell us what they are?
We cannot. If you wish to know the truth, you must discover it for yourselves.
'Tis not easy to move forward when there is seemingly no destination. But if you press on, you will eventually arrive at the answers you seek.
Aye, you will understand why we hold our peace, and far more besides. You will learn the very truth of our existence. Go forth, mortals, and seek knowledge of us, and when the time is right, we shall meet again in this place.
Okay. Alright, let's speak with... Oh. Can I leave the Alliance, or... Oh, he disbanded it before I could say anything. Okay, whatevs. Krile? As if hearing about your battling the 12 wasn't shocking enough. To have them appear before my very eyes. Suffice it to say, it's been an interesting day. While much about them remains shrouded in mystery, at least they seem to open to reason. In considering our next step, I should very much like to hear your detailed account of them. Right after I have a word with our client, that is. Please, give me a moment to introduce myself, and then we can review the situation. Alright. Let's, continue on. Greetings. I am Krile, of the Students of Baldessian. Do I have the pleasure of addressing Derek, the explorer who sought aid in investigating this place? I am Derek, and this here is a baby Opo. Yes, I can see that. Doesn't it have a name? None that I know of. Nor would I presume to bestow one, for that would be condescending. I see. That is very considerate of you. So, I understand you explored the various phantom realms with Derek. Will you recount to me the experience? Sure. So, we did this, that, the other thing, and... So, while the gods tested you sorely, you did not sense any malicious intent. As Beauregard said, they wish to do battle with us, but 'twould seem they do not necessarily wish to cause us harm. Though much and more about this perplexes, mayhap 'tis safe to assume that they are not primals. As you may recall, Livingway once told us that the art of summoning as taught by the Asians incorporates the fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Thus do the resultant primals seek to enthrall worshippers, who in turn seek to grow their ranks. But these beings appear to harbor no such desire. If they are primals, then they are unlike those that have been summoned in recent memory. We might suppose that they were created in antiquity in like manner to Heidelin, but there is no way to prove it. Who could they possibly be? And why do they desire battle with men?
Even of your little Eorzea, you know precious little. The true identities of the 12, for instance. Man, Emic Silk was teasing a shit ton.
Emmett Silk did say that, didn't he? By which we may assume he knew the truth, and challenge you to seek it out too. Suffice it to say you'll do so, of course. You know it. Insofar as we can ascertain, this is a matter which has implications for the entire star. In light of this, the students of Baldessian formally accept the commission. We will investigate the Phantom Realm and the beings who call themselves the 12. I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you. Without further ado, then, I will take a look around. There are a few things I'm curious about. Then, with your permission, I will take myself around Eorzea and investigate the worship of those gods we encountered. Chris, Derek, seeing as you've already seen this place, would you care to accompany me?
Glad to.
By all means. In which case... Could you stay here with Krile, my friend? It wouldn't do to leave a fair maiden alone. That thing is just adorable. I should be glad for this company. Take care, then, and good luck.
Alright, where to?
So, to explain my plan, 'tis believed that the 12 were already worshipped among the 3rd Astral Era when the Alagan Empire flourished. Come the 5th Astral Era, those nations that fought in the War of the Magi each took one of the 12 as a guardian deity. This practice has continued to the present day in Eorzea, with some notable regional differences. For instance, Ishgardians hold Halone as absolute, while Sharlians enjoy a moderate relationship with Daliak. By visiting various locations in Eorzea and learning about the 12 as they are worshipped, I hope to identify any similarities or differences between them and the beings we encountered. In so doing, I believe we will draw closer to the truth of their identities. For our first destination, I propose we take ourselves to Rogger's Reach. The place is holy ground for worshippers of the Destroyer and promises to yield useful details.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Off to Rogger's Reach. We need to ride. Looks like everyone's over here.
There you are, Chris. This place served as the base of operations for your investigation into Omega, did it not? How delightful to be here together. If you don't mind making an observation, it seems you enjoy traveling with company. I do. It's something I had dreamed of for a long time.
There's nothing like traveling with good friends.
Is that so? What of yourself? Do you normally travel alone? In my wanderings, I much prefer to have solitude. Not that I avoid people or communities, mind you. As a matter of fact, I've been here before, on the trail of the Phantom Realm. Now that I think on it, more often than not, those places where Phantom Realm sightings are known to occur have a tradition of 12 worship. Then I dare to hope that we are on the right track. As I'm sure you'll know, Rhalgr's Reach is home to the Temple of the Fist, the ancient headquarters of the Fist of Rhalgr. Raised by the Mad King Theodoric, the temple lay abandoned before the Alamegan resistance claimed it for its operations. I doubt that much literature has survived over the years. The people here may possess some knowledge of the local faith. So, let us split up and make inquiries, and reconvene here afterwards to share findings. Alright, let's check Bloodstorm first and foremost. You read the words inscribed on the monument. A storm of blood approaches fast, hell's open, heavens weep, for no one's soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. Once upon a time, Lisa explained to you their meaning, that we must prepare ourselves for the strife and sorrow that will inevitably come. Alright. Oh, if it isn't Chris! Is this man perchance a friend of yours? When last he visited, he shared with me the tales he heard on his journeys. What amazing tales they were! If you have time, I'd love to hear both of your stories. Alas, we're in some haste. We're investigating the worship of Rhalgr and seek literature on the subject. Religious texts and the like. Can any still be found here? Just about all of it is gone, sadly. Destroyed by the Empire, if not the Mad King before that. But we haven't lost everything. The mighty image of the Destroyer, the tales that we share at the campfire, like the legend of our nation's founding. We still have these things, and they were a source of great comfort and strength to us in our darkest moments. I see. If you don't mind, I would be obliged to hear your stories this time. Chris, rest assured, I have this well in hand. Feel free to carry on as you were. Alright, and who are we talking to over here? Or not over here? Hello? Yes? If you have business, please make it quick. I'm due to meet with someone any moment now. Forgive me my delay. Oh, whoops, wrong voice. Why, if it isn't the adventurer who kindly escorted me to the Temple of the Fist? Are you studying monks too, perchance? Well, long time no see. If so, you ought to work together with me and my colleague here. Few things are finer than joining heads with like-minded folk. Well, actually, I'm studying up on Rhalgr worship. Researching the worship of the Destroyer, you say? Why didn't you mention it sooner? What is this? This is copy of Destructivity, a scripture of the Fist of Ralga. The original is one of the few texts that survived the temple's razing and was recovered by a monk named Widogeld. Oh, damn. I went to the trouble of having this made for my colleague, only for her to say she doesn't need it, so I will offer it to you instead. Lest you forget, this is your passion, not mine. I'm simply assisting you as a favor, and I thank you not to put us in danger. But danger is the crucible in which the monk tempers body and mind. So sublime, monks. Such a dork. Well, we had best return to our work. Till next time, adventurer. Well, that's good. Alright. So we wait back there, huh? And now we play the waiting game again. Chris, what were you able to learn? Well, I learned about that. I learned this. A copy of one of the scriptures, you say? A moment while I skim over it. I see. This chapter appears to be a record of the construction of the great image of Ralga, written in a style that suggests folklore was committed to parchment. When the deluge of the sixth Umbral calamity threatened Eorzea, the ancestors of the Alamegans were guided to safety by a comet. Believing that it was sent by Ralga, they came to hold him in the highest. This much of the tale I had been familiar with. But according to the scripture, among those refugees who followed the comet, some claimed to have caught sight of Ralga himself. Their accounts was passed down through the centuries, and worshippers of the Destroyer pieced them together to give shape to yonder statue. I must say, it bears more than a passing resemblance to the being we encountered. Were that Ralga a primal, the explanation for the similarities would be simple. That is, the statue gives rise to a unified interpretation of Ralga's appearance, which in turn lends form to the primal. However, this fails to account for what inspired the likeness in the first place. If the scripture is to be believed, it was the sightings during the sixth Umbral calamity. Yet, for those witnesses to be able to recognize Ralga, they would have needed an agreed-upon idea of his appearance beforehand. If we then consider the history of 12 worship, that it already existed in the Third Astral Era, it would not be ridiculous to think that these divinities existed even prior to that. So the question is, did these beings give rise to their respective faiths? Or are they primals born of them?
I thought we had made it clear. We are not summoned beings.
What the frick, are you following us now? What the frick?
Since time immemorial, our domains have lain scattered across Eorzea. As a matter of fact, one of those in which you set foot is nearby. 'Tis not unusual for mortals to glimpse us.
That voice. Could they be?
Indeed. I am Byragot, and the hawk beside me is Rhalgr. I shall elaborate upon my master's explanation. We thus disguise ourselves when we wish to observe the world without, for being seen in our true forms would violate our laws of conduct. Yet, though we similarly disguise our sanctums, veiling them in illusion, rents are known to manifest when the surrounding ether is unstable. In such a time, should a gifted mortal chance to be near, they may inadvertently catch sight of us.
Of course. During an umbral calamity, etheric imbalance occurs on a star-wide scale, the ideal condition for seeing the Phantom Realm.
Precisely. Precisely how many times we have been seen, we ourselves have no way of knowing, but that is a sound assumption to make. Well, Byragot, I believe that much shall suffice by way of an apology for our deception. Shall we? Indeed. That is all we are at liberty to reveal. Fare you well, children of man.
And nobody else saw that. Aside from their reticence when it concerns their identity and objective, these divinities are certainly approachable. If what they said was true, and their worship can be traced back to their sightings, it would serve to explain one thing. According to my research, in the field of comparative mythology, Rhalgr is often observed to bear many similarities with Ramun, assuming both were worshipped by the Rhalgr of the Phantom Realm. Their divergence may be attributable to differences in culture between man and Sylph. So you believe that they gave rise to the prevailing faith of Eorzea? Given available evidence, yes, I am inclined to. Yet none of this explains their presence. How and when did beings of such power come into existence? Oh, 'tis you, Krile. Has something happened? Truly? Very well, I shall take care of it. Krile has recruited an acquaintance to aid in our investigation, an authority on mythology. I must go and receive her at the Sunken Temple of Karn, where she is currently conducting fieldwork. After a brief detour to prepare, a little something. Conveniently, Danalan is home to countless adherents of Naldal. While I tend to business, may I ask the two of you to make inquiries in Uldar? Very well. Excellent. I will join you as soon as I am able. By your leave. Well, might as well. Derek? So, it's just to be you and me in Uldar. I suppose it can't be helped. Alright, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back. Click here for the next episode.